This is the story of how we got robbed.
One family says he left them without a roof all winter. Newlyweds claim that he ran off with thousands of dollars from their savings. Just a couple of the stories that we're hearing about the same guy who bills himself as a construction contractor.
In 2013, we bought our first house about 9 months after we got married. It was a cute little shack. It was $49,000 and it was kind of falling apart. It was a foreclosure. It needed a lot of work, but we only had to bring $1,200 to closing, so we went for it. It was in a really cool part of town that we really liked, and so we were really excited, even though a lot of people told us not to get it.
Yeah, our realtor kept telling us, asked us if we knew what the crime rates were in the neighborhood and stuff like that, but it ended up being a really trendy area, and we made a lot of cash on the house, but...
Tripled our value.
Yeah. Anyway,
so after we bought the house, we started to do some renovations, and soon after it needed siding.
So the contractor that the bank had hired to renovate the house basically just sprayed the outside of the house without scraping the peeling paint first. And so within a year of us owning the home, it really started to peel off and look really bad. We knew we needed to side it, and we wanted to anyways. So we started getting some quotes, and this was our first home project we ever had paid someone to do. So we didn't really know what to look for, what we were doing. So we went to the most reliable place you can go, Craigslist, and reached out to a few different contractors. We thought maybe we'd have to pay around $5,000 for siding. The first quote we got was for about $14,000, which we were totally shocked by, and so we're like, well, we need to get a second quote because that just seems way too high. So the second guy we got a quote from was...
He was $5,900. So we were like, let's go with that guy. So he gave us a quote of $5,900, and we thought that sounded really great. So we instantly said, how do we get started? What should we do? And he said, you just need to write me a check for $3,500 and we'll get started on Monday. So we were like, sweet, here's our checkbook. So we wrote him a check and handed it over and never saw him again.
I mean, it was our savings. It was something we saved up for since we bought this place.
And in these cases, nothing to show for it. A newlywed couple, their new home, a foreclosure, a fixer-upper. An online ad got them to Jeffrey Scott Tinelsoft II, goes by Scott.
He told us all this extra stuff he was gonna do for us.
They cut him a big check to get the work started.
And he cashed it within the hour.
They say that was the last they'd see of any sort of haste from Tinelsoft. Then it was excuse after excuse, not there and no show.
We will do it eventually, but just not right now.
So at the time, he really had seemed like a trustworthy guy. He definitely had construction experience. He knew what he was talking about. So we trusted him, and we didn't do our background research.
He was very smooth. He was very kind and just seemed like he was gonna go above and beyond to, do a really good job for us. And he was just a really nice guy.
And like we said before, we were just kind of young and naive, and we'd never done this before. So we didn't really know all the trouble you can get into with contractors.
So once we figured out Monday morning that he wasn't gonna show up and stopped answering his phone, we didn't know what to do. We had some tears and some struggles. We weren't really sure how to move forward. So we went to the police, and they, didn't really do much. I mean, what could they really do? He had already cashed the check that we had willingly handed to him. So then someone had told me that our local news station does a
scam alert or something like that. Yeah.
So I was like, well, let's just make sure that, this doesn't happen to other people. So we reached out to the news station and kind of told them our story, and they said they wanted to put us on the news, which was a little bit embarrassing. But so they did, and then once we came forward, a lot of other people came forward as well that he had scammed them, and this guy had been taking a lot of people's money for a while. So then we had to go to court, and it was a whole ordeal.
He is under investigation by Grand Rapids Police because the McCaulays filed a criminal complaint.
So long story short, we didn't get our money back. But justice was served because he ended up going to jail for about 5 years.
Yeah.
Because of all the people he had stolen from.
Right. But the really cool thing that had happened was this local company, Eikenhout, in our city of Grand Rapids, saw our news story, and I think they felt bad that this had happened to us because we were newlyweds and really poor. And so he had contacted us and said, hey, we want to help you guys out. And I was like, wow, that's really nice. Like, they probably want to, give us a discount on siding or something. That's really, really nice of them. And he came over, and his name was Justin. He said, we want to side your house for free. And he said, well, you can pick out any color you want. We have the best supplies for you. And the best part is we're gonna do it in one day. Yeah. We were pretty overwhelmed by that generosity and kindness of that company. They totally kind of restored our faith in humanity.
Yeah, we definitely, didn't deserve that blessing, and we know most people who do get scammed by these kind of guys don't get their money back. So
yeah.
We really felt blessed that some good came out of it.
For sure. So they showed up right away, and they sided our house, and it looked beautiful. Here's a photo of our first home.
So we wanted to share 3 lessons we learned through our bad experience with a contractor of how to find a good, reliable one. Tip number 1 is don't choose the cheapest quote. That was our mistake, but really a lot of times you do get what you pay for when it comes to contractors. If they have a higher price, they probably are in more demand because they provide great service, and so there's definitely a reason for them charging a little bit more.
Tip number 2 is that to check reviews. So check Google, Yelp, the BBB. We did that after we wrote this guy a check for $3,500 and found out that he had really bad reviews, and he had an F rating on BBB, and pretty obvious that we shouldn't have hired him. So we felt a little bit dumb, but that was just a mistake that we had made because we'd never done this before.
We're talking about people's livelihoods here. Thousands and thousands of dollars.
I mean, we work every single day.
Scott has an F rating with the Better Business Bureau for his company, formerly known as Scooters Construction, and now 4 Seasons Roofing and Construction. And he doesn't have a license to do this type of work at all. Working without a license is a crime.
And I think he was using an alias, which
That's true.
Confused us a little bit, but through a little bit deeper research, we found out who he really was.
Yeah.
And tip number 3 is to just get recommendations from others. That's really the best way we found to find contractors, because if they have done really good work for others, they're going to have a reputation and people are going to want to recommend them. A little bonus tip that I like to use is that if you have a primarily labor-based service you're looking for, you shouldn't have to put half down. So if you are getting like drywall done or roofing done, those typically you're paying for labor and not so much the materials. So you shouldn't have to put half down in order to book the company.
Right.
So let us know in the comment section if you have any other tips for finding quality contractors. We really hope that what happened to us doesn't happen to anyone that sees this video. So just let us know if you have any other tips.
So if you like this video, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel.
He doesn't care that we got robbed.
He doesn't care about anything.
Are you a statue?
Statue!